Have you ever wondered why someone would be green with envy? Or why a golden opportunity is so much better than a regular one? English is a very visual language, and today you'll learn some colour-based idioms that will help you make your spoken and written English a bit more colourful. Welcome to
Aprender Inglés with Reza and Craig.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. My name's Craig.
And my name's Reza.
And with nearly 60 years of teaching between us, we'll help you improve your English and take it to the next level. Hello mate, how are things?
Fine, though I must say maybe not quite as fresh as I was a couple of hours ago when we started recording.
You've got a lot of colour in your cheeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Speaking of colour, so you're looking well.
Maybe the chocolate biscuits and the coffee helped. But as you probably know, when we meet, we tend to record 3 or sometimes 4 podcasts. So we'll take a break after this one and hopefully we'll be as fresh as a daisy for the next one.
As fresh as a daisy, which is an idiom. And we are speaking about idioms today thanks to Marta's voice message. Friend of the show, Marta, has sent us a message from Poland with another wonderful suggestion.
Hi Reza and Craig. Thanks for going over my 2 suggestions. Another idea occurred to me out of the blue. Without a doubt, many of your listeners would love to pass their exams with flying colors. Expanding one's knowledge of descriptive language is a golden opportunity to help with that. We can refer to the sky not only as pale or dark blue, but also as bluish, turquoise, navy blue, or indigo. Thus, I'd like to put forward a topic on phrases and collocations related to colors. You've got the green light to discuss some less well-known colors too. Take care and best wishes from Marta in Poland.
Well, thank you, Marta. Lovely to hear from you and a wonderful idea. So we are taking it on board and we're not going to speak about different colours today, but we will look at some colour idioms and hopefully many of them will be new to you. Any comments, Reza?
Yes, thanks a lot, Marta. Although perhaps in the future, Craig, we could talk about colours, but more unusual colours, because I'm sure most of our listeners already know things like black, white, red. We're not going to talk about those words in the entire podcast. But Marta mentioned things like turquoise and things like that. And we could talk about words like, she said, bluish with ish at the end. Perhaps someday we can do a podcast featuring on the vocabulary of more interesting words. But Marta, today this is specifically about idioms. And just to remind you, what is an idiom? Craig, what's an idiom for you?
An idiom is a phrase that comes to mean something totally different from its literal meaning. For example, green with envy, it doesn't mean that someone has turned green and when you look at them you see the colour green. It has another meaning. So we use idioms in a way that don't represent the true dictionary meaning of the word. And we've spoken about idioms many times in the past. There's a long list in the show notes to this episode, and I won't tell you all of the episode numbers. Just go to inglespodcast.com/624 and you'll see references to previous episodes about idioms about clothes, food, chickens. We did one on chicken idioms, animals, house and home, crime, work, sport, baseball, cricket, family, lots of different kinds of vocabulary themes and areas, all connected to different idioms.
And I guess you noticed, listeners, that Marta used some colour idioms. Did you notice that she said, "It occurred to me out of the blue"?
Yes.
So she didn't see anything blue. There was no blue colour around her or in the air or anything like that. So out of the blue is an idiom. As Craig said, we're not really talking about something blue. It's metaphorical. It means unexpectedly. She had this idea out of the blue. She had it unexpectedly.
And in her message, Marta also used the idiom with flying colours when she spoke about students passing their exam. If you pass with flying colours, then you pass successfully with excellent results. You could also pass a job interview in a similar way, any kind of exam or test.
She also spoke about a golden opportunity. So it doesn't mean it's an opportunity which is literally made out of gold, the physical object. It's the color gold. But of course, an opportunity is not something you can touch. It's an abstract thing. It's not a concrete thing. So again, we're in the territory of idioms. So a golden opportunity is an excellent or rare chance or opportunity that should not be missed. You've got to take advantage of a golden opportunity.
Marta gave us the green light to go ahead with this podcast. And if you drive a car and you stop at the traffic lights, red is stop, isn't it? And yellow is get ready or prepare. And green is go. So if you get the green light for something, then you've got permission to go ahead and go forward.
I got to stop you there. Technically, no. A lot of people say what you say. You got red and green and the one in the middle yellow. It's technically amber. Yeah, so Marta was talking about precision of colors.
You're right.
Some people say yellow, some people say orange, but it isn't. It's actually amber is the specific color that should be that light in the middle, the amber light.
And do you agree that it means prepare to stop, or do you think it means go quicker before it changes to red?
Well, in Valencia, it's the second one, isn't it? But in theory, it's supposed to be the first option.
And in some areas of Valencia, red means stop unless there's no one around.
Yeah.
You can just go through it.
Or you're under 35 years old and on a motorbike or similar vehicle, then it doesn't apply to you at all.
Exactly. So those are the idioms that Marta mentioned in her voice message, but we've got some more for you. We've got some more colour idioms. The first one is true colours. True colours. And that's what somebody is really like beneath the surface, beneath the pretense, you could say. And you meet someone for the first time, you get to know them a bit, and you know, they seem okay, but maybe when you get to know them at a deeper level, when you get to know them more profoundly, then you really see their true colours, what they're really like.
Yeah. For example, I was at a party on a really exotic island in the Caribbean, and Jeffrey seemed like a really nice man. But then later,
Mr. Epstein.
I found out that he wasn't, and his true colours were revealed. I didn't mention any surnames, I was just using a first name.
Yeah, I think
Allegedly.
allegedly. We have to add allegedly to stop being sued. Reza, have you ever been green with envy?
Not really. I'm not a very jealous person, to be honest. So if you're green with envy, you're very jealous. No, I have been slightly jealous occasionally, but I can't say I've been green with envy, not really jealous. What about you?
No, I don't think so. And I'm pretty much on the same page as you. I mean, if someone has a really nice car, I might be a little bit envious perhaps, or a really nice house, might be a little bit envious, but not green with envy, because green with envy is quite extreme, isn't it? You're very, very jealous if you're green with envy.
Craig, when was the last time you were tickled pink?
The last time I had my pink tickled.
I didn't say that. I wouldn't say that. This is a family podcast.
Okay, so we should explain the verb to tickle. You know what you do to children if you want to make them laugh or giggle? He's giggling. So if you touch people in certain places on their body very lightly.
Oh, be careful where you're going with this. Remember, a family show. Which parts of the body?
Well, it could be the ribs. I think
Ribs.
in the ribs there.
Or the armpits, under the arms is a classic one.
Under the arms, the
that's a classic.
armpits, yeah.
Or the bottom of your feet.
Yes, yes, the soles of your
Soles of
feet.
your feet, yeah.
If you touch people there with your fingernails or very lightly with your fingers, then it's a very sensitive area, and that is to tickle someone. People tickle babies or small children. But if you are tickled pink and you add that colour pink, that means you're extremely pleased and you're very appreciative of some kind of situation. For example, we were tickled pink when we received Marta's voice message. And when my wife made a cake for my birthday, I was tickled pink because it was a chocolate cake.
Craig, I occasionally see red. Don't worry, I don't have a problem with my eyes, but I do have a problem with my temper, perhaps. That means I get very angry. Certain things make me see red. I become very angry. What makes you see red?
Well, it's funny you should ask me that, because I saw red a couple of days ago in the supermarket. I was waiting to pay at the cashier's at the checkout, and there was a woman in front of me with her husband and a lot of shopping, 2 trolley loads of shopping, a lot of shopping. And the person at the checkout, the cashier, she said, "Would you like us to send this to your house?" And the man said, "No, no." And then he left. I suppose he left to get his car or something. And then after everything had been passed through the checkout, the woman said, "Oh, this is to send home."
Oof, and that takes a long time, doesn't it?
And I was standing there with 1 loaf of bread, literally, just one thing. So I had to wait while she unpacked everything, and then they had to pass it through another time. I'm thinking, well, I saw red. I thought, why didn't you say that at the beginning? You know, there's a long queue, now you're taking up everybody's time. Maybe I'm getting old, Reza, I don't have patience. But it was just a stupid thing, you know, just say that you want it delivered and that's it.
Yeah, very inconsiderate not to think of you behind them.
I saw red.
Staying with red, we've got to roll out the red carpet. Now, that can be literal. That can be a physical thing. Red carpets are associated with royalty or very important people, VIPs. And very often when like a king or a world leader, a president or something like that visits another country, they literally put a carpet, yeah, a little piece of cloth to walk on the ground for him to walk on rather than the normal ground, to show that he or she is a special person. And it tends to be red. But this has become an idiom. There doesn't really have to be an actual carpet. It can just mean that you treat someone extremely well, like when you put the carpet down for the royalty. So if you roll out the red carpet for someone, you treat them extremely well.
Whenever I go and visit Reza in his flat, he always rolls out the red carpet with some lovely food and biscuits and wonderful things.
Yes, I know when Craig comes, you better not give him bad biscuits. They better be good biscuits. I roll out the red carpet there.
Reza, what do you think of my haircut?
Well, it's not bad. It's not bad. Yes, it's yeah, very, very nice, I must say.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
I think that's a white lie. What is a white lie? Why do lies have colours?
Well, when I said it wasn't bad, it's not really bad. It's okay. Yeah, perhaps I wasn't entirely being honest. So I was telling Craig a small lie, but a harmless lie. In fact, I want him to feel good. That's why I'm telling him that his haircut looks good. It's a white lie. Okay, it's not exactly the truth, but it's not for a bad reason. Yeah. That's a white lie. It's a little lie, which is not intended to cause any harm.
Make someone feel good. Tell them a white lie. Now, obviously we have noses on our faces, and a person can be nosy if they put their nose into business and things that don't concern them. But what's a brown noser, Reza?
Well, that is someone who goes to really irritating extremes to please someone or praise someone. For example, had Craig said to me, "What do you think of my haircut?" And I had said, "Craig, that is the greatest haircut I've seen in a very long time." Well, Craig, all haircuts suit you. Even if you were bald, you look great because you're just a very good looking man. But that haircut especially suits you, and it goes really well with that shirt. Okay, you'd think, easy on, steady on, Reza. Hey, stop. I'm being a brown noser. I'm being irritatingly nice to Craig just to make him feel good. Can you imagine, like, I took my nose and I placed it near a part of his body which I probably shouldn't.
Which is brown?
Well, the part isn't brown exactly, but a brown substance comes out of that hole That's what I'm doing metaphorically. I'm going to extremes that I shouldn't to please him.
And we apologise if you're eating while listening to this. Two colour idioms that go quite well together. One is black and white, and notice the order of those two words. We don't usually say white and black. If something is black and white, it's very clear. There's no middle ground. There's nothing vague or nothing sketchy or difficult to understand about it. It's very, very clear. It's black and white. However, what happens if you mix black and white? Well, you get the colour grey. So if you speak about a grey area, then there is a lack of clarity. Things are not very clear. You can have an ethical debate about whether remote work is a good idea these days, and you might say, well, it's not black and white, there's a grey area. So if something's not black and white, there's a grey area, it's not clear. There's debate about it.
Craig, how often do you eat caviar?
Once in a blue moon, almost never. Almost never, very, very rarely. Once in a blue moon. We spoke about that idiom recently, didn't we, in the episode about the moon?
That's
if you remember.
Right. Mm-hmm. But here we're talking about it again because it's got the colour blue. Did you know, by the way, listeners, that the moon really can appear blue physically?
Occasionally.
Very, 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 very occasionally. That's the point. So since it comes from a scientific fact that once every, let's say, every 25 years or something like that, the moon looks blue. So that's not very often. So when we say, oh, I eat caviar once in a blue moon.
Blue moon?
Blue bean, not blue beans. When we say, I eat caviar once in a blue moon, it means very rarely.
With the colour green, you can have green fingers. That doesn't mean that your fingers are the colour green. That means you're very good at gardening, working with plants and flowers. It's something that you enjoy. It comes natural to you. Plants tend to grow very well if you have green fingers. That's the British English expression. Across the pond, over the Atlantic in the US, they say a green thumb. I don't know why, but if you have a green thumb in North America, then you're good at gardening. And the British English is to have green fingers.
Craig, does God exist?
Well, that's a very existential question. I'll have to ask ChatGPT. What do you think?
It's a grey area. For me, it's a grey area. I think it's possible, but there's nothing that's absolutely 100% convinced me that God exists. So for me, it's a grey area. I have a lack of clarity. Nothing has happened in my life.
We've done grey area.
No, you jumped it. You jumped it.
No, I included it with black and white.
Yeah?
Yeah, I put them together because...
You sure?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
definitely.
Okay. I'll repeat myself then. Okay.
Go to catch someone red-handed.
Okay, beg your pardon. Craig, have you ever been caught red-handed doing something that you shouldn't have? Remember, it's a family show.
How embarrassing do you want my story to be?
Not too embarrassing. Not certificate 18.
When I was very young and stupid, and now I'm old and stupid, but when I was young and stupid, going out drinking with my mates, with my friends in London, I came out of a club, a music venue, after drinking too much beer, and I relieved myself, which meant I went to the toilet, number ones.
Thank goodness, not number twos.
Urinated on a car, and when I looked up, I noticed it was a police car.
Oh dear.
and I was caught red-handed, not yellow-handed,
Wow.
red-handed by the policeman who saw me pissing up the side of his car.
Oh, what did he say?
He wasn't very happy.
No.
And to be fair, I thought he handled the situation very well. He made me clean it with my scarf. And then sent me away, which I thought was quite, because he could have arrested me for public disturbance. He could have taken me to the police station, but he didn't. He told me to clean it with my scarf and go home, which I thought was not very nice. And I did it, and then I went home and washed my scarf. So I was caught red-handed, weeing against a police car.
But it could have ended worse, couldn't it?
It could have ended worse. Yeah.
That's not bad. Craig, some people are considered the black sheep of a family. Now, don't worry, they don't have 4 legs and they don't go around going bah, which would mean that they were very odd. But it does mean that they are different. So if you're the black sheep, you're the person who is different from the rest of the group. It could be for a family, or it could be for a group of friends. It could be any type of group, really. But you're the one who's different in a negative way. It's not a good thing to be the black sheep. Craig, in your group of friends or your family or the people you hang about with, have you ever felt like the black sheep?
No, not really. I tend to want to fit in. I think many people want to be liked, don't they? And if you're a black sheep, you tend to be on the fringe, on the outside, not part of the group, very, very different, to set yourself apart, put yourself apart from everybody else. So I've never really wanted to do that because it seems to me a very lonely place to be. I mean, you have 2 brothers and a sister. Would you say there's a black sheep in your family, or are you
No, I don't think so.
siblings all the same?
No, we're different, but I wouldn't say any of us are black sheep, no. But I do know people, I do have friends, and in their family there's a black sheep, not necessarily them, but it does happen. There are cases where it happens, yeah. But I guess you and I are lucky.
2 colour idioms that go quite well together that we can compare as well, connected to finance and money, is to be in the black and to be in the red. Well, which is better, do you think? To be in the black, then that's okay. You're making a profit. Your bank account is in credit. It's plus. Is that right to say in credit? Yeah. It's in credit. So you have money in the bank. However, if you're in the red, you're in debt. You owe money. There is minus in your account. So remember those 2 colours. Black is good, red is bad. To be in the black, there's money in the bank. To be in the red, you owe money. You're in debt.
Craig, you eat fish, don't you?
I love fish.
Do you like herrings?
Yes, if they're smoked and pickled.
Oh, yes, smoked or pickled herrings, yeah. What about red herrings?
Red herring, well, that's a piece of information that's intended to deliberately mislead or distract you from what's actually happening and going on. An example could be in a mystery novel or a mystery film, some kind of whodunit where you're trying to find the person who committed the murder, and you're very suspicious of the butler because the butler is behaving in a very suspicious way, or maybe the gardener is behaving very suspiciously, but maybe they are red herrings. Maybe the butler is a red herring. He didn't commit the murder. It was the
maid.
Thank you, the maid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something that misleads you, that takes you away from the actual information.
Now, red tape is a thing you soon find out about if you come to live in Spain and you want to get paperwork done. There's quite a lot of bureaucracy here compared to Britain. Maybe not all countries, but in Britain we don't have quite as much bureaucracy, it seems to me. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would. But don't you think the red tape's getting better in Spain over the last few years?
Yes. So there's not as much red tape. There's not as much excessive bureaucracy as there used to be. But Craig and I arrived here in the 90s, didn't we?
Yep, late 90s.
And there was a lot more red tape then, a lot more excessive bureaucratic processes to go through. We call that red tape.
If you only see the nice aspects or the nice things of a situation, you could say that you are looking at it through rose-tinted glasses, or you might hear rose-tinted spectacles. So maybe there's some kind of... Trying to think of an example. Could you think of an example of looking at something through rose-tinted glasses?
Yes, imagine for example, you lived in a neighborhood where there was more and more crime all the time. You couldn't leave your house for fear of being attacked and your money being stolen from you. It wasn't like that before, but it is now. But don't worry, they're building a new park for the kids. And if you think, oh, they're building a new park, what a great neighborhood, yeah. Oh, it's true that the shops are closing down. If you walk out the door, you'll be mugged. Someone will hit you, steal all your money. Someone's tried to break into my house. But you know, they're building a new park for the kids. I don't have any kids, but you know, that's a great thing. I would say that you're looking at things through rose-tinted glasses. You need to worry a bit more about your neighborhood, and I wouldn't be so pleased just because there's a park. You're only seeing the nice aspects. There's a lot to worry about that you're not seeing.
Yeah, you're being too optimistic, overly optimistic. I have thought of another example. You know, when you think back to your school days, and I'm sure when I was at school, I was very unhappy and I didn't like school very much, and there were lots of problems, adolescent problems. But usually when you look back at your school days, you tend to see them through rose-tinted glasses. You tend to remember the good things that happen. Is that true?
Yeah, I think for most people, yeah.
You don't feel blue.
Right. You didn't feel blue when you were a kid? You never had the blues?
I had the blues when my girlfriend broke up with me or my football team lost. What about you?
Yeah, from time to time I've had the blues. Come to think of it, yeah, I did have the blues whenever I was in my early 20s. Late teens, early 20s was a very unhappy time for me. I'm much happier now than I am now. I had a lot of health problems and there were plans in my life that I had to change that I didn't want to change. It was a very unhappy time in my life, I would say. A time when you're supposed to be really happy and optimistic and full of life. I was actually really quite depressed, quite sad. I really felt blue in my early 20s. Now I feel okay. That was a long time ago. I'm no spring chicken. That means I'm not young. But yeah, I did feel blue back then, I have to say.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, I feel great now.
Yeah, but that's good. So to feel blue or to have the blues is to be depressed, sad, unhappy. Do you feel blue when it rains?
A little bit, yeah, I do. I think it affects me. I think when it rains a lot, but maybe more than the rain, it's the fact that it's probably going to be overcast. It's going to be cloudy when it rains. I think that depresses me a bit more. Not seeing the sun for a long time, and then it's wet, so you don't want to go outside. You kind of feel like you're restricted in some way. The weather is restricting your life. Yeah, I think that gets me down. That gives me the blues. What about you?
No, the opposite. I quite like rainy days. Obviously, okay. If there are too many, if it rains non-stop for a week or so, then that starts to get me down and I get the blues. But no, I quite like the rain. I miss it over here in Spain sometimes, not every day, of course. So those are the idioms we have for you. Remember, you can go over to inglespodcast.com/624 to see a list of all of our colour idioms. True colours, green with envy, tickled pink, to see red, to roll out the red carpet, a white lie, a brown noser, black and white, a grey area, once in a blue moon, to have green fingers or a green thumb, to catch someone red-handed, black sheep of the family, to be in the black, to be in the red, a red herring, red tape, and to look at something through rose-tinted glasses, and finally, to feel blue.
Craig, how could our listeners practice these expressions of colour or anything else?
Well, we'd love to hear from you. The best way to contact us, our preferred way, is via a voice message, as Marta did. So go to speakpipe.com, speakpipe.com/Ingles podcast, and see if you can use a selection of these idioms in your message. One cautionary word of warning: try not to overuse these idioms. It's great to have them in your spoken and written English, but don't overdo it. Don't have too many in there, because it can get a bit tiring if every sentence contains an idiom. So use them sparingly, use them carefully, and they are very, very effective. Reza, what about people who want to go to improve their English if they speak Spanish?
If you're a Spanish speaker and you want to improve your English, you could check out free and also paid resources at the Mansión Inglés website. It's at mansioningles.com. And specifically for paid products, you can also browse the online store, the shop, at store, S-T-O-R-E, .mansioningles.net.
Oh, and I think we forgot to mention our email addresses. If you prefer to write to us, we do have email connectivity. I'm Craig, C-R-A-I-G, at inglespodcast.com. And to reach out to Reza, go to belfastreza@gmail.com. And if you'd like a full transcription of every word we say, then you might consider joining our Patreon program. You'll receive a full transcription every week by email so that you can read every word and get a monthly invitation to join me for an informal chat on Zoom so you can practice your speaking, including your colourful idioms. Reza, who's joined us recently?
Yeah, we'd like to say thank you to every single sponsor on the Patreon program. We haven't got time to mention everybody's name, so we just mentioned the people who've joined in the last month. They are Pablo Albert, Juan Antonio González Marquez, and Ole. Thanks to you and indeed all our Patreon supporters.
Yes, we're tickled pink to have you supporting the podcast. In next week's episode, we'll be speaking about how to fix sounding awkward when you speak English. So how can you make your spoken English more effective? And even though you have a very wide and capable vocabulary and a high level of grammar, maybe you feel that there's something missing from your spoken English. We will help you with that next week, so join us for that. And until next time, it's goodbye from Reza.
And it's goodbye from Craig.